everyone, I'm super excited for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to get back into some coding. We're going to learn so many things, and I'm going to learn things, you're going to learn things, you're going to teach me things, I'm going to teach you things, and you're going to get some open source green squares. So I hope you're ready to do this. Let me know in the chat where you're calling in from. We've already got some people in the chat as well. Vishal, awesome to have you here. Nibu and Kota Prolu, hopefully I pronounced your names right. Thank you so much for joining me today. Who else is here? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to give you a shout out. Right, let me share my screen and let's get coding. That's what I'm really excited to do today. So share my entire screen, please. I'll give you a heads up on what I have got going on. Here's my screen. Probably looks very familiar to you. Looks pretty much like our Linkfree project, the open source alternative to Linktree. I'm migrating this over from React to Next.js so we can have a backend and also have MongoDB. So you can see now these numbers are how many times the links have been clicked, and you got how many times the profiles have been reviewed. The styling isn't finished or perfect, but I want to get the logic working so other people can contribute too. So for example, if I click on this link, it's not going to go anywhere. I haven't done the actual action to go anywhere, but if I refresh the page, it says 31 and 4. If I refresh, I click this a couple more times, so I think I clicked like 4 times. So I'm expecting this to go to 32 when I refresh, and this to go to about 8. So let's have a look. There you go, so that works. So I've got that bit working, so that's good. This is all pushed up to GitHub, the current state it's in, and it's all in a branch as well. So I can share that link in the description with you. Here we go, I've got it here. Not in the description, in the chat. Who needs some open source green squares? Let me know. And while you're looking at the repo, let me know who wants some green squares. So today I'm thinking we can continue moving this project forward. Who else have we got here today? So Omar, also not Omar, sorry, Omkar, awesome to have you here. Joe, Manhi, Solly from South Africa, awesome to have you here. I'm doing good, Vishal. Thank you so much for asking. Hope you're doing well. Rakesh, how you doing? How's the open source reviews going? What sort of projects are you reviewing? I just saw your reply to my tweet, and your screenshots. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm catching up on notifications, about 10 hours behind. We all need green squares. I probably need some too as well. We'll get some today, so let's do that. Aniket, hope I pronounced your name right. Awesome to have you here. Right, let's get going. So let's look at the code. So what I'm thinking we do first is some people might not want their views and their numbers, stats public. So I think we should have a profile. In their profile, in their JSON, to hide that. So who's got a profile on Linkfree yet? Who has or hasn't? Because if you haven't, there's a really good green square that you could get straight away. I think I shared with you also the repo, but the branch that you will want is Next.js. So that's the branch you'll want if you want to get involved and contribute. You can submit a pull request to this branch. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment. So let's have a look at the code. So on the, bring up my profile. Oh, did not mean to click on that. Go away, hide, go away. How do I hide this? I did not mean to click on that. Peak. No. I just closed that. I don't need the README. It's fine. We can figure it out together. But yes, what I wanted to show you was everyone has a GitHub profile. Sorry, everyone has a JSON profile. So what I was thinking was we could add an optional flag and it defaults to false. So for example, under name, we could say something like public stats. It'd be stats, right? So it will be stats. What do you think? Stats or is stats public? Does that make sense? And then for me, it'd be true because I want it displayed, but other people might want it false, and we default to false. So if they haven't got that line, then it automatically defaults to false. Let me know what you think about the name of it. And while you're thinking about that, I'm gonna catch up with the chat. I'm doing Hacktoberfest so far. Awesome. I will check that out. Maybe we can get you on the maintainer team as well. If you're doing lots of reviews on there, let's give you the ability to merge those as well. Oh, Nearban, sorry, I missed your message. Awesome to have you here. Druv, great to have you here. Tamal, how you doing? Love the welcoming that you're doing in GitHub Discord. So thank you so much for that. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. You haven't added yourself to Linkfree yet. Go ahead to do it. You can create a JSON file. The minimum really is just kind of this top bit. So go do that. Maybe I can get that merged in on this live stream. Give your profile a bit of a shout out at the same time. Hey Carl, how you doing? Carl is here. Awesome. Everyone say hi to Carl. Carl has helped us build so many Eddie Hub projects. As a maintainer on so many of those, and a mod as well. So Carl, if you ever want to jump on this live stream with me and help me, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, I can get all the help that I can. So yeah, I'm thinking, what do you think of this naming, everybody? Is stats public? I think Carl might have suggested this, where we can make the stats private by default, and then if someone wants it public, they can make it true. But I don't know about the naming. Is stats public, or make stats public, or just, because I want a true or false here rather than maybe a string, like, I don't know, is public, or if it just said stats public. I don't know, I'm so bad at naming things. Naming things are really hard. It's one of the hardest things, I think. Love it how people are saying hi to each other in the chat. You're all awesome. Thank you so much. Display stats public. Oh, that sounds better. Display stats public. Okay, so in my case, it's true. And then anyone else's should be default to false. So therefore, theirs shouldn't appear as well. Perfect. Okay, so let's give that a go. So what we've got next, I can't even remember this project. It's been like a week since I worked on it. So we can actually look at the folder structure. So we've got pages, we've got the API, we've got users. So this is the API where we reading the data. I think that won't change. We'll pass the JSON data up to the UI. So we'll want to go to here, this one. And we can see it grabs the UI information. And then the stats are probably going to be, well, there's going to be a couple of places. So at the moment it's in the top. So let's do that first, and we can check that works, and we can move it to the link as well. So let's have a look. So we've got image. We're using, by the way, Tailwind with this as well. Here we go, views. So what we could do is, how's the best way to do this? I'm trying to think. We could say data dot, what do we call it? I've forgotten already. Display stats public. Okay, so let's say display stats public. We could just do and, right? That should work. I'm pretty sure that should work. So if that is true, then do this. Otherwise, do nothing. Let's see what others say as well. Hey Thomas, how you doing? Would you just prevent the display or data or the fetch as well when display, fetch, and the data are public to some extent? That's true, actually. It's a really good point, because you're right, because the JSON is public because it's in the repo, but the data, if we fetch it, you're absolutely right. Then people will be able to see it. It's just not displayed. Good point. So we should probably still have that in the front end because we don't want that part to be displayed. But then we should also hide the views and not bring it back. So really good point, see? I love collaborating with you all because I learn so much. Hopefully you all learn things as well. Okay, so let's go to the statistics. We go to this one and let's see what we do here. Gotta remind myself, like I said. So we get the profile, and then, this is for a link. Is this, if it's a put or there's no username or no URL, return. So this is for updating. So we don't want that. So it will be in the user section. I should probably improve the documentation. So if anyone sees any improvements, add it to the README, add it to the documentation, some more green squares for everybody. So yeah, really great point here. We definitely want to not bring the data back. So here you go. So we find one. If there's no profile, then we add views for the first one. So that still needs to happen because when we get the data for the user, we want to either set a view if it doesn't exist already, or we want to increment it by one. So we still want that. It's on the return. So let's see. I've got a console log in there. Probably don't want that. So we need to ditch that out. But we find the link. So we could probably skip all the merging of the data because we get the username, we get the data, and then we add views and links in this part. So we could probably skip that because we don't want to add the stats on profile with stats. So we could probably just skip that. and just profile with stats equals kind of, latest profile, I think would probably work. Thank you, Showrun. Hope I pronounced your name right. I really appreciate the support. Getting back into a project is always tough, so I appreciate everyone's support. It's great. So let's give that a go. So what we could do actually is put a console log here, and let's see how it looks. So what we could do is, if we do profile with stats, it's probably a really bad name. We should probably actually change that. So what we could actually do, thinking about that right now, if I create a const and I put, return response, final profile, whatever we want to call it. Final profile is probably a terrible name, but if we save that to be, we define that to be an object, and then what we can do is, have we used profile already? We used get profile. We probably haven't used, profile is used as for the model. Okay, so return profile. What's a good name for that? I'll put a final for the moment. You all can help me with that. And so what we can do is, actually no, we could probably reuse latest profile, I'm thinking, because latest profile is that, and then we either don't do something or we do. So we could always overwrite it. I suppose we could reuse that. So we could say something like, let me see. Let's have a look. I could just change mine to true and false, and we could see that. So if we return that, if they want the stats, if we don't want the stats, we could probably do something like this. If profile dot, oh God, I've forgotten what it was already. Display stats public. So if not, it will be latest profile. Latest profile, display stats public. Actually, that's coming out of the database. Let me think. We want to get it from data. Yes, we definitely want to do that. So data display stats public. So if it's false, then we just want to return the latest profile. But latest profile, we'll just return data, right? Because data won't have any stats in it. It's super clean. So maybe we could put it above this as well. I actually don't even think we need any of this. We'll record the stats, which is the important part. But I think then if it's true, then get the latest profile, get the links, merge all the stats, and return it. I think that should work. What do you all think? Let me check out the chat if anyone's noticed a mistake that I've done. Hey Sean, how you doing? Awesome to have you here. Let's give that a go. I'm fairly confident-ish. Let's see. So we could do it. Yes, I think that should work. Let's try it. Out of 10, what do you think it will work, everyone? So you can see it's already disappeared, but I'm guessing these should have disappeared as well because the data shouldn't be returned. Oh no, mine's set to true though. No, so that is working. And then why is, actually I'm expecting that to appear. So why didn't that, I'm expecting that, because if that's true, then display that. I'm expecting it to appear, and I can set, oh, it has appeared. Okay, refreshed it, all is good. Whew. Okay, so next thing we want to do is set to false on my profile and delete it as well, and just make sure that it works. If I refresh, you can see it's gone from there and it's gone from here as well. So that looks good. If I set it to true, no data should be lost, so it should still be there. Perfect. And if I delete the line completely, it should just default to false. I think that works. I'm happy with that. What do you all think? That's a good piece of work. So by default, if I pick someone else's profile, if I go to search, we've got Jane first. Theirs is off. Anyone else's, again, theirs is all off, but it's still recording the stats. And if I go to mine, which is on, stats still appear, and it's gone to 39, and refresh it, 40, and so forth. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Hey Vera, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Amit, hope you're doing good as well. By the way, while everyone's here, don't forget, give the video a thumbs up. Really helps support the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. So I like that. Should we do it as a commit? Is everyone confident that works quite well? I think that's pretty good. So I've completely forgot about the API part. So that's pretty good. Although we are doing it on the server side, so I don't know. I think we did it with, get server side props. So I don't think that would be done as a request. So I still think it would have been kept private, but it's still good for not to make those extra requests to the database. It's definitely cleaner. So I absolutely like that. Definitely a better way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to commit that. What do you all think? What else can we do next? Oh, I've got an error in the console. Let me just check before I do a commit. Do we need to port the tests over? Talking about tests actually, what do you all think? Do we keep the same tests in Cucumber, or do we use something like Playwright that Debbie was showing us? So let me do a refresh here and see if we get any error. So no error. Just check that might have been an old error when we were debugging stuff. False. Refresh. Oh, we do get an error. Okay. I know why. Because in here, we need a return. We don't want it to continue on to do this because the response has already been sent. So I completely forgot about that. So if I clear the terminal, do a refresh on that, that should have no error. Perfect. Good thing we checked that. Okay, I want to bring that back to true. And if I refresh it, my stats come back and it's not lost. Okay, perfect. So let me do a commit on that. Actually, we can do that in VS Code. Let's do a commit. So do a git status. Happy with those changes. You can always check it in VS Code to see. Yep, that extra line, display stats public. We need to update documentation. Does somebody with this actual field? Does someone want to do it? And I can review it and merge it on the live stream. Let me know. If not, I can do it as well. So you've got that on the front end, just as an extra check. Oh, we didn't put it in the links. Actually, I forgot it in the links. We added that, did we? No, that's wrong. We don't need that, I don't think. That can go. But we did add that, and we removed that. Okay, so let's save that. But you're right, in the link, we do need to remove that. So while I'm doing that, let me know if anyone wants to get some green squares. So what we do in the front end, just to be extra sure, we should do the check. So we've got the check here for displaying the views, but in the link as well, let's see what we've got. So we loop over the link here, and we pass in the link, and we pass in the username. So how do we get to the data for that? Let's have a look and see what we do. So we do display link clicks, okay, because that's in the link object. So perfect. So that's great. So we do have that data. I'm a fan of Playwright, but I'm not that active on the project, so it's just my personal 2 cents. Yeah, I've used Playwright a little bit. I got a video came out, I think a couple of weeks ago I did on it after the live stream with Debbie. It looks pretty good. Yes, I'm torn. I really like how Playwright does it, but it's still writing code. It's pretty high level code. I just want to make it as inclusive for everybody, and the Gherkin syntax is pretty nice. But then if anyone wants to add a certain step, I think it's quite hard in the step definition. So yeah, we could always move it to Playwright. That's one option. So let's have a look. So we've got the clicks. So what we probably want to do here, how's the best way to do this? Can we nest it? I'm pretty sure we could, right? So in the span, so we haven't got the data, so we actually don't know. We might have to pass that through. We don't know if it's display on or not. So we might need another one, which is display stats public, true or false. Let's keep the same name. So display stats public, true or false. It will be data display stats public. Okay, so let's go back to the links file. Let's grab it up the top here. And then here we'll want to say display stats public, then do that. Is that correct? What's wrong with that? Maybe you can't nest it. What's wrong with that? Someone help me out while I catch up with the chat. Hey Praduma, how you doing? No Kubernetes live stream today. Definitely getting back to some coding. What have I done wrong with this? I've got the brackets in the wrong way. That's a bracket with that. That's a bracket with... Maybe you can't nest them. Oh no, because link clicks and... okay, that's fine. That's even easier. I don't need to do that. What I can do is just say link, if it's enabled and there's link clicks, because some of them don't have clicks yet because it'll be a new account and so forth. There you go, that should work. I hate it when it does this. It just looks so weird. But anyway, so let's have a refresh. It looks good. No errors in the terminal. Let's go back to my profile on LinkFree, set this to false, and refresh, not displayed, perfect. And let's also remove it as well. Just make sure everything is good and no errors. All looks good. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, mine's gonna be true. Back to the beginning, and it's updated. Okay, nice. Now I'm ready to commit it. Did anyone want to update the docs, or shall I do that? I can update the README if no one else needs any green squares. Let's have a look. README. So I've just started a new kind of quick start. I will need to update everything below, but I'm kind of doing it a bit at a time. I don't know, Carl, do you want to do a Git pod for this? You've probably got loads of green squares anyway. But we do have a Git pod for this already. Let me see, Git pod, here we go. But we need to add Mongo to it. So I don't know if you want to submit that as a pull request or someone else wants to do it. Let me update the example. Your name, true. And then we can explain a bit about that. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, maybe I just won't explain it now. Someone else can explain it later. But we've got something. Let me commit that then. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's do a git status again. I think that's pretty good. I updated my data, updated that. All looks great. Always worth double checking. We have to make sure I haven't done any other mistakes. All looks good. Oh, has username got a typo in it? I think it does. When did that happen? How come that didn't throw an error? Are we not? Oh, we are using username. Okay. Would have thought that would have thrown an error. Okay, so let's see. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for noticing. I was, I'm glad I didn't commit that, so thank you. I really appreciate that. Eddie, where to get an open source job opening for freshers? Oh, a video just came out 2 days ago on my channel with Confidence and Rishab, where he got a job as DevRel as a student. He was a student and he got a job. So watch that video. It's a really good conversation. And he contributed to the open source project and just made some content on it. And they said, look, can you do this? But we'll pay you. So yeah, really, really awesome story happening all the time. So you don't miss out. Definitely get involved in open source. Hope you've all got a profile on the LinkFree project. Okay, so I'm ready to commit that. You think so? Ready to commit it? I think it's all good. I don't think I've messed anything else up. I fixed that now. Thank you so much for noticing again. That looks good. Maybe I should make mistakes and I can see who's paying attention, because Solly is definitely paying attention. So thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to commit that. I'm pretty happy with that. So git commit, and the feature is going to be feature show hide stats. Pretty happy with that. I haven't got a ticket for it, which is really, really bad. But actually, I do have one for the overall branch. Let me see. For the pull request. So if I go to open pull requests and go, this is the one we're doing, and it's for 1470. So that's the issue number, 1470. Let me commit that. Oh, it's going to fail probably. Oh no, it passed. Okay, brilliant. The lint checks passed. Done that. Let me push that up to the branch. Therefore, you all can have a look at that, and you could all review it, leave thoughts and comments. Rejected. I need to do a pull first. I'm a bit out of date. See, this happens. And that's why I love doing it on live streams, because on a video, you probably wouldn't see that. Did I not specify? You need to. What happened to my branches? I've really broken this. This is embarrassing, but also shows that it's realistic, which is great. So Prisma was quite painful. Yes, I moved to Mongoose. Prisma was a real difficult pain. I mean, it looks great, and I've used it on some other projects, but I had so much pain getting it to work. So definitely worth moving over. I don't think it's quite ready yet. This takes Linktree to the next level. I think it really does. And plus, once this goes live, I've got a plan for people to log in with their GitHub account, the OAuth style, and then load in their JSON file, and then they can start managing it from the UI as a form if they wanted to. And then the stats can be displayed just for them. I've got some ideas, I've got some graphs and some ideas. Maybe we can get some graphs soon. I don't know, I've got some ideas, we'll see. Okay, so why did my pull fail? What happened? You do have that, I don't know how that would have happened. It's only me working on it. I know there's been some commits to it, but should have worked. What command did I run? I did specify, so git pull origin Next.js. I did specify it, so it knew which branch to get and which branch to put into mine. So that's really interesting why that failed. I could always undo, I can always check, I suppose, because I could always undo mine. If Tom's the latest one, I can always undo mine and then redo it. There's different things you can do. So let me have a look on GitHub. There's so many different ways to fix this, which is what I think is great. But I always like to go for the simplest one. So yeah, Tom's 6 days ago. So what I'm going to do is I've got my, if you look at this, git what changed. These are the files that I committed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to undo it. So you could do git reset. Well, I haven't used this command in ages. And be careful when you're using it because you can undo someone else's commit. So reset, oh my God, I've forgotten it. Is it like this? So I want to undo one commit, and I want it to be soft. So don't delete it, because hard would mean remove them, but I just wanted to put it back into the state I was before. Oh my God, I can't remember how to do this commit. I'm sure I've done a video on it, but let me have a look. Git reset soft. I can't remember. Let me have a look. I forget. So, okay, so the soft is the hyphen, and I want to go back just one. Okay, so it's just like that. Okay, so even I forget everything. So git reset, soft, head. Does that look good? Before I run it, does that look good to you? Git reset, minus soft, head, or you can use tilde, and with tilde you can specify a number. I think that's pretty good. What do you all say in the chat? Let me have a look. Just joined using T3 app. What's T3 app? I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I don't think that's a good thing with Git. I actually think it's a bad thing because everyone seems to do it a different way. And I don't know which way is right. I know there's obviously slight differences and benefits and pros and cons, but yeah, it's just too many features. So let me give this a try. That's strange. Okay, so it seems to have worked. So as you can see, now the files that I committed have come back. So if I do a git status -s, these are the files that are committed. They are staged. And if I do a log, the last commit should be, why mine? Am I in the right branch? Pretty sure I'm in the right branch. Next.js, that is the right branch. And the last commit should be Tom. I think it's gone too far back. Ooh, let me see. The last commit on the 6th of August. And it says, okay. I don't have Tom's here, so that's a bit strange. What I'm going to do on the safe side is what I always try to do, something like this, is I'm going to create a patch file, and I'm going to bring down the latest from GitHub and then reapply my patch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do git diff, but it's going to be staged, and you can bring that on the screen like this to show you what's changed, but you can also pipe it to a file. So I'm going to pipe it to, I usually do an issue number, but I haven't got an issue number. So in this case, I will do it to be, I don't know, stats public, just any name for me. And I'll put a dot patch because in my global git ignore, those are hidden for me. So therefore I won't accidentally commit a patch file. So I've done that. And so if I look at the actual patch file, it looks like this. And then I can get rid of my changes. So what I can do is I can just, get rid of my changes by doing git checkout. Oh, now I need to unstage them first. So git reset. Now they're unstaged. So now the M has gone from green being on the left column to red on the right column. And now I can do git checkout dot, and they should all be gone. So I've completely blown away all those changes I've just done. As you can see down the side here, it's gone, but I've got them in a patch file, so don't worry, we can reapply it. Before I blow away my branch and pull it down, I might just try another pull and see if, or not main, Next.js, see if I can fix this in a simple. I like to do things simply. People like to do lots of clever things. I can't even type my password in correctly. People like to do lots of clever things. See, that worked. So yeah, I think that was the simplest option. What do you all think in the chat? How would you do this? T3 is the fastest way to spin up a Next.js app. I'm not aware of T3. Okay, I'll have to have a look. What is the repo for the T3? You can't share a link in the chat. YouTube will remove it. But you know when it goes github.com/ the org or the user and then the project name, paste that in, and I'll be interested to have a quick look at it. I'm not aware of it is. Not aware of what it is. There's just so many amazing projects out there. Okay, I just used the official Next.js create app. T3 OS create T3 app. Okay, let's have a quick look. I'm quite curious. So github.com T3. Oh, I lost it off my screen now. T3-OSS. Oh, T3, not T2. T3 OSS. Let me hit enter and go to the org. Okay, and then you said it was create T3 app. Okay, it could be any of those. Let's see how popular this is. Yeah, it seems fairly popular. Updated fairly recently. Interesting. 5,000 stars. I know stars isn't an amazing metric, but it's interesting. Okay, something to look into later on. Okay, but you have to create the app. I've already created the app already, so I don't think it's probably needed. It's good to be aware of these things, and you can make a conscious effort in the future. Oh, here we go. Aniket, if I pronounced your name right, just created a PR on Linkfree. I'm good to go. And you promised for a shout out. I did. Let's have a look. Give me 2 seconds. Let me fix this and we'll take a look. Okay, so my working directory is clean. I've got the latest. Let's have a look. My latest is Tom, which is correct. Two from Tom. Let's have a look. 2 from Tom. That's correct. Now we need to add my changes. So what I can do is git apply to the patch file that I made. Here we go. And now it's applied it. So now you will see all my changes have come back. You could do it with a stash. I prefer a patch. Sometimes I feel it's a bit safer. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through my history with Control R. I'm going to commit, going to bring it up. I'm going to hit commit. Seems happy. I should probably check that the app is working. Nothing broke it. Refresh. All looks good. And now I'm going to push those changes back up. Let me know if you would have fixed it a different way. It's really interesting to see how people fix it. Looks good to me. Yes, the best 4 letters anyone wants to hear. Okay, push it up. Oh, excuse me. That is now on GitHub. Let's have a look. 16 commit. So the last one should be mine now after Tom's. There we go, 30 seconds ago. Perfect. Got a fly. Sarah left the door open, chasing me with all the lights. The flies love the lights. Okay. So pull request has come in. Let's take a look. Okay. 9 minutes ago. Let's have a look. You haven't got a GitHub profile picture? Definitely add one. Highly recommend it. And you're a member of EddieHub, so definitely a big thumbs up. Okay, so you've created this. Let's have a look at your changes. I think in the docs we say not to commit the package lock file. So if you could remove that, please. But this file, let's have a look. So that's why it's really important not to ever use dots when you do your commit or anything like that, or add. You only want to commit the files that you've changed purposely, not anything that's been auto-generated or anything like that. So you've got your bio, looks good. You've got your avatar, looks good. And you've got a couple of links, which you can update later and all the rest, but that looks really good. The only thing, unfortunately, is your package lock. So I will just say request changes. Please only commit your changes. The changes. There should be something about that in the README. If not, let us know and we can improve that. Which is in the package-lock.json are not required. Okay, submit. Hopefully we can get that merged in on the live stream. I'll leave it open for now. Okay, back to this. How has the chat been going? I'll have to look good to me up on the screen. By the way, everyone, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It's completely free and helps support the channel. I appreciate it. Okay, so we've got this pushed up now, and so we do have it so the stats can be hidden and shown for each link, and also the page view. If anyone wants to do some styling to this, for example, for the views, maybe put it in like a kind of badge style, go submit a pull request and to this branch, to the Next.js branch in the Linktree project, and we can review it and get it merged. We do need to put icons back on these as well. So there's a few things like that to be done to make it in line with the, if I go to Linkfree now, or on the homepage, I haven't put the screenshot on the homepage yet, but the way it looks like now, this is my profile. I've changed the milestones. I think it looked a bit nicer the way, and takes up less space the way I've done it here. But yeah, these probably need some colors on it and need the icons on the left. I haven't done those yet. And the actual click to take you through to the page. But we've got the counter going, which is great. Okay. What should we do next? 30 minutes. We've got quite a bit done in 30 minutes. I think that's a pretty good feature. That's all pushed up. I'm using the exact same JSON file, by the way, for my profile. What could we do next? So popular. I want to pull stuff out of Mongo that is like the most popular profiles. And at the moment, I think I've got hard coded to mine. The other page, on the home page, I want to bring some stats. So we could maybe do some stats. What do you all think? I might need some help with my Mongo queries. Who uses Mongo here? Let me know in the chat, and you can give me a hand. So I'll have to pull some stats on here. So what I actually did, let me hide the terminal. To actually create an API. Where is it? Here we go. Totals, where we can get how many users, how many views, and how many clicks. And they're just hard-coded numbers. So we will want to get those out of the database. I don't know if we can aggregate or if we have another query that then just updates these. So I'm not sure. What are you thinking? So for example, if I go to the models, where are they? Models, here we go. So on the profile, views, we've got views on each profile. So we go through the collection of profiles and add up all the views. As we get more users, that could get quite big. The other thing we could do is, what we'll have to do is on the links, is go through all the links and add up all the clicks. Again, if we have 1,000 users and each user has 5, that's like 5,000 to go add up on. Another way to do it is you kind of have like a summary collection where you collect the summary, and then we could also store it with dates. So we could even have like a line graph or bar graph over the months, like how many new users have joined last month or this month and stuff like that, and how many views Linkfree got this month over last month. So there's stuff that you could do like that. So I just know what you think would be good. Awesome. Yeah, people can contribute to this via doing React, via doing Tailwind CSS, via doing Node for the backend, or Mongo as well. So there's just so many improvements that you can all do. So there's loads of ways to get involved. I'm learning all the time, so we can learn together. But yeah, what do you think? I'm thinking maybe a collection with a date. So something like, I don't know, maybe stats.js. Let me see. I'm going to cheat just for the sake of time. I want to kind of copy and paste this and put it into stats. And then I want to change everything. So let's just say stats schema. And we'll come to the details in a minute. There's going to be no link to anything else. Let's just ditch that for the moment. And let's just change this. And then we'll see what content we might save. I think that might work. Stat. It should be stat or stats. I'm trying to think. Okay. It's because the collection is usually plural, but the model is singular. So I'm trying to think. Let's just see what information we would save and see. Yes, don't forget to star the Linkfree project. Again, it costs you nothing, but really helps support the open source project. I think we're getting close to 1,000 stars, so that would be super helpful. Yes, 906. Let's see if we can get to 1,000. That'd be awesome. 1K. That'd be great. So what would we want to store? So I think we'd want a date. We wouldn't want to store every event. So we'd want to find probably the event of today and then increment some of that. So we could maybe have like profile views, so views, and then we could maybe have link clicks. So we could maybe actually just duplicate that and maybe have clicks. So it's not for any particular link or profile or anything like that, but we're just going to kind of collect the overall stats of the platform, of the application. So we don't need a username. And then we would have a document for each day. And the great thing about Mongo, you can do TTL, which is time to live. So we could say, so in a year we'd get 365 documents, but you could say the TTL is 365. So after a year you get a rolling window, and anything older than that automatically gets cleaned up and dropped off. But still, I don't think it'd be a massive collection. So I think it would be okay. What questions and thoughts do you all have? Let me see. I think that should work. So it's a number, it's going to default as 0, and then we need a date. Let's have a look. So just date. I have to remember how to do date in Mongo. Default, no, not now. I'm trying to think. We'll check if there's one for today, and if there isn't, then we'll create it, rather than trying to calculate it every time. There's a lot of load on the database to go through. Every time someone visits the homepage, go and calculate it. We could cache it for like 12 hours. So you do the query once every 12 hours, or we just maybe keep it and then we get a bit more of a time series. Okay. Let me know your thoughts and questions in the chat. You know, I always love to hear your ideas. Who created the PR? Anikit, let me know when you've updated that, and we can review it and get it hopefully merged in the live stream as well. So date and time, how can we make sure we only get one per day? I might have to check Mongo documentation, because I think we could create it unique potentially as well. Mongo, Mongoose would want Mongoose docs, read the docs, and they should have dates somewhere. Let's have a look at how they manage their dates. Schema types, I think. Would you see date anywhere? Date. Let's see what they have. Schemas. Who's worked with dates? Dates are always a pain to work with. Oh, here you go, got date, default now. So that's why Copilot auto completed it. But it's I don't want the time, because we can always do it. We just want the day, month, and year. That's all we want. So I can check if it exists, and if it's the first one, and then add it. I think that could be a good way to go. It won't have any relationships. It will be unique. And I think that's all we would need to save. Because let me think. Because the date will be the entire. Does it say the format? It doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it will be the whole, kind of the ISO timestamped with the millisecond, all the way down to the milliseconds at the end, which I don't want to do. I could do it as a string. If I do it as a string, I can't really sort, is the only thing. And do I need to sort? Probably not. I don't like to do everything as a string, like numbers and booleans and dates. I prefer them to be an object. I suppose I could have it all as zeros. Yes, I could do it. The date and the times would be all 0. That's a possibility. Can we keep it as yes, I think we could keep it as a unique string as well. Let me search their docs for unique as well. Let's have a look. Oh, not in the API. I don't like their API docs. Let me have a look. What do they do? Where do they specify their uniques? No, that's not it. Documents. No, that won't be it either. Let's have a quick look. If anyone wants to help me out, just write in the chat. Hey, Sabrina, how you doing? Sabrina, how is your Linktree PR going? Because you said you've made your profile, but you haven't pushed it to GitHub yet, to the Linktree project. Why don't you do that now and we can review it and get it merged in, hopefully on the live stream. Let me know what you think. Okay, so, oh, interesting. There is a timestamps section. Aha. So it can add the created and updated automatically. Again, that's probably not what we want. I'm going to check it out just in case, because it could make things a bit easier. So yeah, this is how it will save it. There you go. It makes it a bit bigger for all of you. So it will have, we just want the first part. So what we could do with the rest is set them all to zeros. And that's how we can make it unique, and that's how we could always go check if one exists before we increment, and if it doesn't exist, then create it and start off with one. So that could be an interesting one. Yeah, do it, Sabrina, do it. Everyone, by the way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so we definitely don't want to. Oh, that must be in JavaScript. I can just use normal JavaScript. I forget how to do it. So JavaScript. Date. I wonder if we can just let's go to the MDN docs. Get date. Oh, that's going to be the day. So we could create it ourselves. I'm pretty sure there was one that does it for us without the time. So anyone can Google and find it, let me know. Get full year. So I might just need those, but I thought there was one that kind of just gets the date. These are all set, so ignore the set. See, toString returns a date portion, but it's not in the way we want it, because we don't need the actual day, and we want it to all be number format. So we're getting closer. Let's have a look. We can always create it ourselves. It's not the end of our world, end of the world. Let's have a quick look. Oh, there we go. To locale date string. Yes, that's what we want. Ideally year first, but that's not the end of the world. So that looks good. What do you all think? That one would work. And then we can make sure that it's a unique column as well. So we always get that. But it's American, so that's month and that's day. That's fine. As long as it's consistent, that's the most important. Let's give that a go. So we will need that. So we'll put a date is the type, but I don't think we'll want a default because we will set it. We'll check if it exists. If it doesn't exist, we will set it. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's all right. We don't need a default for that. Will always be one. But then there should always be a default, actually. So default now. Oops. Would that work? I can always check in the. I don't think it's now, right? It would be just that. Let's have a look. I can use. Here we go. No, that doesn't work, because if we do console log, date's always a pain. It would have to be new date, right? Is that the object? Okay, and then if we did dot, let's see if that works. Oh, I don't know what that autocomplete came from. We want this. There we go. Yes, so that does work. So we could use that. So we'd create the object. We can't use the static object. We have to create a new one. That's fine. So we could do new. If I can spell new. There we go. That would work. What do people think in the chat? Yep, looks nice. I wonder if time zones will be an issue, but passing something like, yeah, so what I'm thinking is we store everything in GMT. Therefore, the time zone then can be converted to everyone else, but all the data is consistent, and then when we bring it out, we can convert it to what people want. Otherwise, we can't store it in different ones. Is my understanding. And yeah, is stats a good name? Okay, we can leave it as stats. So that's my thinking. What's this link? Let's close that one. We can get rid of that. Profile, we can also get rid of that. Let's close some of these. We can get rid of my stats. Close that. Okay, so we've got this model, and what we want to do is we want to increment it every time. Someone views someone's page. It will be the increment this one. Someone clicks a link, we increment this one. And I have got a nice viewer. Where is it? Attached databases, and you can see the local. If I do a refresh, we can see Linkfree, and we've got links at the moment, and we've got profiles. So these are the profiles that we clicked. As soon as someone gets clicked, this is mine. You can see it's got 52 views. Someone else has just started that we were practicing with before. It's got 1 view. So they get an entry once it's been kind of activated. So we should just see another one in here for stats, and we want it per kind of day. So let's have a look. Date now should work, but I think now we'll have won't it be the full thing with the time? Let me check. You got me thinking. What does everyone think? Dates are always like a funny thing. So if you do date.now, I should probably do a console.log. Is now a function? I forget. Oh, now is a function. So that gives us the Unix timestamp. Unless I've misunderstood that, let me know. It's going good. Emma Dawson has been helping me. Emma Dawson is amazing. Yep, she is awesome. A couple of steps away. Okay, we're waiting for it. No pressure. You've already switched from React to Next.js. Yeah, it's just, I didn't like React. Using Next.js, I like React. So yeah, big change. Definitely a game changer. Hi in Nepal. Awesome. Okay, I've busted something. Yes, I did bust something. It's not a function. I tested it. It's a function. New date. That should work. What did I do wrong on there? Let me check. Yeah, so you can see it does work. Oh, okay. It was just a bit kind of cached. Okay, so let's try and do the update. So go to the API. And you can see from the API part, what it does is it tries to load the JSON file for that person. And then it tries to find a profile in the database for them. If it can't find one, it creates a view, one view for that person. If it finds one, it does an increment. So what we're going to want to also do is making this file quite big. We're going to want to try and split this up potentially. But what we're going to want to also do now is increment the overall platform stats for that profile view, and then we'll do it for the link as well. So let's do the profile view first. So what we probably want to do is try and get today's date from the database in that document, and if it doesn't exist, we add it. Again, it's going to be quite big. Oh, sorry, Praduma. Yeah, with the date, I was trying to get it so that we only get an entry in the collection per day. So I really want to save it in the database as something like, it's going to be in the format American. So it's going to be like, what are we? We're August. So it's going to be 08, and it's the 12th, and it's going to be 2022. So I want to save it like that. So each day we get one new document entry. So I think I'm doing it per day. I think that's a good way to store it, and we increment the views and the clicks for that day, and therefore we can get a nice time series graph on the activity. I wonder if we do it per account, or are we going too far now? So per day, per account, that's a lot of data. No, we'll just do it for the overall platform. Let's keep it simple. So my thinking is, here we could do an if. Let's do constant. Let's do not data, date. So let's do the date, and then we want to grab out of that collection. So we need to import it. So let's have a look. Let's see. So we want to import it. So we've got profile and link. So I'm going to duplicate that and type this to be stats, and type that to be stats. And what we want to do is just find one. So we can do stats, can't spell stats, find one. And then we want to find one on the date. So I think that's what we called it, date, yes. So on the date, we're going to try and find one for today because it's going to be in that format. If it finds one, do something. If it doesn't, do something else. So how have I done it elsewhere? Yes, I do two ifs rather than if else. I prefer that. I don't know what you think. So let's bring the find one out so we can reuse it without making multiple calls to the database. So we can say, that's interesting how autocomplete goes. I want to kind of use that, but I want to say maybe, I don't know, get platform stats. It's stats find one. There's no username there. We're not doing it user specific. It's just on date. So if it exists, do this, and then we'll duplicate that. And if it doesn't exist, do something else. What do you all think? Is that looking good? Do you all agree? My suggestion would be to save it as a Unix timestamp and convert it when you read it. That helps localization too. True. The only thing is, if I save it as a timestamp, I have to do the conversion before. It's a great conversation because it's dates, and dates are just like Git. There's 100 different ways to do it. It would be pretty better as a timestamp. I do agree, but if I do that, it would be then saved as a number rather than the date, and I need to get today's date timestamp at 12 a.m. GMT. So I think this might be simpler. I'll tell you what, we'll run through it this way, and then we could always tweak it. It's going to be in a draft pull request. It's not going to be, go into the main branch or anything yet. So we can maybe have a chat about it on GitHub and see different ways to do it. I think that's quite interesting. Oh, get date should work. So I do hate dates. Let me try what that returns. I can't even remember. So you're saying what if I do date.get date? Would that work? Yeah, same in the UK as well. I think in Europe, only America is different. Carl, where have you been? I've needed your help. But I usually store dates in ISO format and do the conversion and stuff in the front end. Yeah, so it's just because I want to do it per day. I could do 000. So we could do, we could save it as the ISO format and have the times as 0000. The only thing is then I'll need to convert it before I use it to make sure we're getting it we're not including the time, because otherwise it will make an extra document entry and I want it to be the same document. So I don't know, I'm torn. I don't know what you think. We've got a few formats. So we've got like I said, today would be for American format, and for UK it would be 12 first, but let's do that. Would be this. For ISO it would be, I can't remember the full details, but imagine the date part, and then it would be for the time, we'd want it to be 0 like that. And then is it Z? I can't remember what it is afterwards, something like that. But those would always have to be 0 because we're going to make sure we get the same day, and we don't know the time and hour isn't important. So that's the thing. Oh, interesting. Hi Jacob, how you doing? Is Next.js the next big thing? Yeah, I think using a framework is so much more beneficial. It's convention over configuration, right? It's easy to onboard people. Things are done a certain way, set up. I don't know. I love frameworks over libraries. Also, yeah, new date, then get date. I think like Praduma was saying as well. Maintain 2 keys, one for the actual exact time and one for identifying if the record for that exists. But I don't want the time. That's my point. That's why I think storing the date is enough, because I just want it to be for that day. I don't want the time. It's a really good conversation because I think it's just so interesting to see how people do this. So I think there's 2 ways you can do it. We can do it just with the date, or we can do it with the date time. I think thinking about the model, it's going to expect 0000 for the time. So yeah, it's probably not going to work first time or second. Carl, I need your help. Jump on the stream with me and help me do this. I think the important thing is to try and get something working, and then we can refactor it. And ideally, if you have automated tests, it makes it a lot easier. What do I need for the date? So I want an entry in the collection per day. That's what I want. So the time and seconds aren't important. I need that to be consistent. So I couldn't save it as the time right now, because then the next query won't know what the one was. I wonder if you can search in Mongo for the date and time, but that won't be very, very fast if it's ignoring the time, if you can just search for the date. That's why I think we should either drop the date or store them as 0000 for the time. That makes sense. What do you all think? Do you have challenges like I do? I think this is like, normal, like coding 10% of the time. Well, I'll continue with this for a moment until see what you think. Copilot's already kind of going in there straight away. See what you think. See, Mongoose has a built-in. I need to jump soon. Okay, no worries, Carl. Thanks for supporting while you can. Can you use Mongo's built-in timestamps? Oh, let's have a look. See, this is. I do have timestamps here. I did have a look at the Mongo's timestamps, and yes, they store it like this, which I think is good. But I want to make sure that the time is always, the time part is always 0, 0, 0, 0, like really consistent. So I can pull it out again. I don't know why there's a 0 in there. It's interesting. But I wonder if I can, maybe I could use something like that. I could pass in, because in date you can pass in I wonder if I can do new date. I've just had an idea. Let me know what you think. This probably won't work, but let's try. Because if I do new date, oh no, not get date, new date, it gives us that. What happens if I did new date and then did, what was it in the code? This thing. Would it set the date and time to 0? It's quite interesting. While I'm struggling here, people feel free to jump in the chat, but also don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Really helps support the channel and contribute to our branch, our Linktree project. We're migrating over from React to Next.js, and we're storing some stats. If you want some green squares, there's documentation, there's the tests need to be migrated over. There's just so many awesome things that you can get involved in, and some coding as well. I think I'm on that docs. I'm on the right docs, aren't I? Yeah, timestamps. Okay, perfect. Let's see if my crazy idea works. So I'm thinking if I only pass in, I don't know what the property takes. I was hoping it'd autocomplete, but it doesn't. So if I did pass in a date and time, like, I don't know. Does it? I'm hard coding it for now, but just as an example. It does set, if you can see my screen, it does, if you don't pass in the date, so the time, it sets it all to zeros. So this could actually work. So great team effort, everyone. So let me go one step further in here before I move back to the code. If I set this to new date like this, therefore we can store it in the ISO format, but the date, the time is set to 0, 0. So I think this is going to work. I'm feeling confident that we get the best of both worlds. So let me see. So we'll set this to be default would then be this, I think, like that. And then in here, what we're going to do is when we do our search, we're going to find one by date, and we want today's date, but we just want the date part, not the number part. I think that's going to work. I think it's going to give us, not exactly like this because it's not quite formatted like that, but you get what I mean, the date and then the times are ignored, so we get everything for that day. I think it's going to work. So if stats are found, we're going to want to do an update. That's pretty good, Copilot, actually. That's pretty good, right? Stats update. I don't think we need to set the date because the date will be set. Oh no, we're first to search. So we're going to search for the date, which is correct. And then we're going to increment views by 1. So that's pretty good. And then if it's not found, let's see what Copilot does. If it's not found, it creates it and sets it to 1. That's pretty good. Copilot, that's pretty impressive. What do you all think? Is this going to work? Let's have a look in the chat and see. Moment.js, Moment.js is pretty good. I think it's no longer supported. Something happened with Moment.js. I don't remember. Moment.js is pretty awesome, but I think it's no longer supported. Something happened with it. I think it's going to work. What do you all think? Should we just give it a spin and a try? Let's have a look. Let's see if my page works. If I do a refresh, there should be nothing in the database. If I switch back to my database and refresh this, nothing should appear yet. It's good. If I go to my profile, it still works. So my profile's being displayed. Something's busted. So that's pretty, confident. Out of 10, what do you think this is going to work or not? If I go back to here, I'm hoping a new table appears. A new table did appear. So we're getting warm. We're getting closer. I think I've gone from confidence that the page loaded. I went from a 4 to a 6. The table's there. I've gone from a 6 to an 8. Let's see if there's one document there. There is one document there. And it's got 2 views. So let me refresh the page. And let's see if the views have jumped to, if I do a refresh, a 3. It has. So I'm jumped to a 9. I'm not at a 10 yet. It does look like it's working. I'm not at a 10 yet. The reason why, I want to see if I change this date to see if it creates a new document and starts counting again from 0. So do you see what I mean? So let me refresh the page. Actually, as I want to update the document, I want to change that to 30 to make it like a really crazy number. And then I'm going to change this from today to yesterday to the 7th. Today's the 12th. Oh no, yes, it's American, yes. So sorry, the 8th month. Here we go. And then today's the 11th, so yesterday. And I'm pretty sure I can save that from here. Can I do that? Well, okay, upload, do it. I don't know, save it. So if I just check that has updated. Yes, so it's yesterday. So now if I refresh my page, we're expecting it to create a second document. Views will be 1 and it will have the 12th. Does that make sense? I'm hitting refresh here, so this document has saved. So let me close that. Let's have a look. What do you think? If this works, then that's 10 out of 10. Amazing team effort. I think that's pretty good. So let's see what you all think. Which MongoVS plugin are you using? It looks really nice. Yeah, it's really, really simple. I'm using the Azure one, actually. It's, the Azure plugin. I can get the name for you and send it to you. Azure, let's see. Not that one. Azure Databases, I think. It's this one. It does Mongo as well. So yeah, this is the one. Really awesome. So I don't use Azure, but it works for that. Okay, let's have a look. Let me do a refresh. Right, everyone, cross your fingers and your toes. Let's do this. Refresh. So this is incrementing, obviously. I've refreshed it twice. Let's have a look in the database, which is a second document where this stays at 30, but the other document should be at about 2, and it should have today's date. Refresh. We have a second document. It's at 2, and it has today's date. So that freaking worked. If the document doesn't exist, it creates a new one. And let's just do one extra check and visit someone else's profile. And make sure that it doesn't, create any new documents, do anything crazy. It shouldn't do, but let's check that. Okay, I'm pretty confident. I've clicked on a few profiles. Refresh this. That's jumped to 5, and this one should still be at 30. Perfect. So that works. We've got overall stats for our application. That's pretty cool, and we're going to get it per day, so we can do like a time series graph of how many times. I think that's pretty. I can't wait to deploy this. I'm super excited. Let's go. Yes. Were you confident it was going to work? No one put any numbers in the chat though. Date FNS. Is that the new one? Okay. I couldn't remember the name. No one put any numbers in the chat. So you were all like around 0 or 1, right? Why weren't you out of 10? Okay, so let's have a look. So I've done that. Let's do it for links. So on the API now, we did it for the user profile when we load the user profile data. But in statistics, this is where we log the links. We do it as a put. We make sure we can find a profile. And then we update which link was clicked. So we update the links being clicked. If a link doesn't exist, we then, as always, set it. So let's do another one under here. These files are getting long. I have to think of another way how to make it a bit nicer. But let's have a look. So the thing we can, I'm going to do a get for this data. So we'll do that afterwards together as well. I don't know what temporal API is. Is that another framework? Hey, I want to pronounce the name wrong again. Aryan, hopefully that's pronounced okay. I'm good. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Awesome to have you here. Don't forget, give the video a thumbs up. Really helps support the channel. Okay, I think it's going pretty good. Should we do a commit on that one? Should I push that up to get some more green squares? Did not mean to hide that. I'm going to hit J. Let's do a status. Let's just check the changes. We've got this new model. Let's add it. And these are the changes. Let's have a look. So new model, and this file, we added the model to it. And I can remove that. Forgot about that line. Don't need that line. Okay, let's go back and remove it. Where is it? We don't need this console log, comment. Just putting. Okay, and let's add it. So the changes. Happy with those changes. I think it look good. Wasn't look too bad. I will push it out to the pull request. It's in a draft. You can all leave some comments. Let's commit that now, and then we'll get on to doing the total link clicks, which I think is quite an interesting metric. So if we do a status, we've got that. So we'll do a commit. Actually, I can't remember what number was. Let me get my previous commit up and I'll just edit it. So the feature is global view stats. That's pretty good. No linting errors. Let's push that up. You all can have a look at that as well and leave some comments. That is in the branch. Do you want me to share the pull request where all these changes are going to? So if you all want to contribute, you're more than welcome to. Hey astronaut, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I pronounced it the right way. Thank you so much. Even if you're lying for my benefit, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Temporal was a proposal to JS to improve data experience. Oh, that could be quite good. I think it's definitely needed. Definitely needed. I think it's because we don't work with dates that much as well. Well, we do, but we don't at the same time. Okay, so we're going to do something very similar. So could I cheat and kind of copy and paste what we did for the other one? What do you think? Copy and paste developer. So I'm going to copy all this. Pretty sure we can just copy that and just paste that in. It's just a long file. And we need to get the import as well. So it's import, oops, not indent, copy the import. That looks good. And then if we go down here and have a look on the link, so it will get today's date again, and it will find one in the stats for today, but we don't want to increment views, we want to increment clicks. So we don't care what link was clicked or what profile, we just want to increment the clicks. I think that should work. I could probably abstract that out and we could make this be passed into the function. And so therefore this isn't duplicated in two places, but that's, you know, improvement for later. I think that should work, right? Because our model will just increment the clicks this time instead of the views. I'm pretty confident that will work. What do you all think out of 10? Let me know in the chat. Don't be shy. Hey, DDD, how you doing? Great to have you here. Let's see if this works. I'm excited. I'm going to give you a moment to write in the chat out of 10. I'm pretty confident. So we're not expecting any new documents. We're expecting clicks to increment because they're on 0 at the moment. So we're expecting them to start incrementing. So yesterday's one shouldn't change. So the 11th shouldn't change, but today's one should increment. So let's have a look. Let's see. So let's just check that the views still work. This is why I love automated testing because it makes sure that it works. The views have gone up by 2 on my profile, but the overall views should go up for today. And it has gone up by 2. Perfect. Clicks hasn't because we haven't done any clicks yet. So let's click and have a look. So let's click. It's not going to go anywhere. I haven't done the part to click, but I clicked on that twice. Clicked on this 3 times. If I refresh this now, you can see, that was actually 3 times and 4 times. But the overall clicks for the whole platform in the database, which we don't display anyway yet, should have gone up. I'm expecting this to be about a combination of those two. So that went up by 3, that went up by 4, I think. So that's 7. So I'm expecting the clicks to be 7, and the views will go up as well because we did refresh the profile a few times. Yes, so the clicks are working. So let me just do one more check. If I do a click on, say, my GitHub like 5 times, I want to check that the views don't go up. So let me refresh. There's no new documents. So that's good. Yes, that went up loads, but that didn't. And this shouldn't have changed. Refresh, hasn't changed. That's working. Like literally, well done, everyone. Pat yourself on the back because that's pretty cool. I think round of applause. I have no sound effects, so I'm actually going to do it physically. 10, I trust the process. Love that. You know, pair programming improves the quality, but there's like, 25 of us here, so the quality is like super high. So perfect. Definitely a 10. Thank you all. Awesome. So maybe we should display this on the homepage. That could be quite cool. Nothing fancy. Who's great at Tailwind CSS? Maybe we can do something a bit nicer. But we've got the data in the database. So yeah, we could do one more test actually. One more test. I want to bring up today's date and I'm going to make it the 10th. I want to make it even older and I want to make sure without me refreshing the profile and I click on the link, a new document is still created because that's one thing we didn't test because the document already existed from the profile creation of the platform views stats, if that makes sense. So I'm going to save this. Oh, no, not undo, save. Yep, upload. So if I refresh this, so now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to refresh my page. I'm going to click on these links and I hope there's no error. and just check the console log. No error. We've got a console log somewhere, but that's fine. If I refresh this, I'm expecting a third document, and it will have no profile views, but like 4 or 5 link clicks. Refresh it. New one came. It's for today. Has no profile views, but also has 4 clicks, so it's working. So, because someone could pass midnight, and someone could have the page open, and they could be that first person to make that first stat for that day, and there's no profile, refresh or view. It's just the link. So that's what I want to check. But obviously, if I refresh this, and I refreshed it now, this page will get a 1 on the view. So that's all working. So I'm really happy with that. That's all working well. Let's pull out these stats. I think. So what we could do, we do have a stats file. I'm not using it anywhere. So we do have totals, but now we obviously want to read this from the database. So we've got, user totals as well. That could be quite nice, but that I don't think we need to put into, we could read the total number of users in the database. Or would it be good to know, my ideas are running a bit crazy. For each day, we get a certain amount of stats. Would it be good to know how many users we had on the system in that day? Do you see what I mean? Like today, if we got 1,000 profile views, but we had 1,000 users, on average, that's 1 view per user. But last week, if we had 1,000 views and we only had 100 profiles, like 100 users, then it would be more. So I wonder if it'd be interesting to know if when these stats are collected per day, how many users on the system there were, or am I making this just too complicated and we should just keep it simple? I think we'll keep it simple. Simple is probably good, right? Yeah, you can move to Next.js. That's what we're doing here. We're moving to Next.js. There is a migration path. I didn't. I actually started again because I wanted to switch from Prime React to Tailwind CSS. So I did a lot of the rewriting and cleanup and so forth. We have lost a lot of features, so people will need to bring the features back over manually, but it's more green squares for everybody. Let's keep it simple. So what we'll do here is I want to copy and paste again. Where is it? Not the stats. Yes, I'm going to copy and paste the import. I'm definitely a big fan of copy and pasting. Did I get the path correct? We did. And then what we're going to want to do is do stat.find one. We're going to want to always find today's one. Oh, it's automatically completed for us. Okay. So const, and we can say, can't spell that. What am I doing? Stats today, maybe, and it can find the one for today. If it doesn't exist, it would just put zeros for everything, I think. So that's fine. And then we can just return it, but it won't have users. Oh, we need to add users to it as well. So we need to combine this. So let's have a think and see. In here is we could say stats to, just keep the same format. Let's bring users down. So views would be stats today dot views, and then for clicks it would be stats today dot clicks. I think that's what we called it. Yeah, clicks. And then we want users, but we need to make another query for this. So we can say const. I wonder if Mongoose has any clever stuff for that. Let me just check the docs. Or do we just get all the users, and if we do queries, can we just get like the length? So we want to do a find, we want to get all of them, but we want to do a length. I don't actually need all the objects. I just want to know how many there are in total. Who's used Mongo and Mongoose? Let me know. What if we get like length? Oh, did I spell length wrong? Length. Let's have a look. Not connections. So I want to grab all the data. It probably does it with proxy objects, but still, because it could do find one, not find one. Like total. Hey, Raya. I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Let me know how to pronounce it, and I'll hopefully get it better next time. Let's have a look. Mongoose total in collection. Let's just see what Google has to say. There must be a nice way. How to count all the Mongoose models? Not models. I want documents. Count documents in collection. Perfect. Is there a Mongoose official documentation? MongoDB has one. I wonder if Mongoose has one. An array containing all connections. No, I don't want connections. Mongoose count documents. Or maybe there is something. Let's have a look and see. I want to keep an eye on the chat if any of you have any tips for this. Let's have a look. So you can do a count. Does that exist? Let's just check the official documentation and see. Oh, it does. Model count. Count documents. Okay, something does exist. Let's have a look. Count on the documents matching a filter in the database. Okay, we won't filter. It'll be everyone. So that could work. So you do it on the model and then count documents. And then just an empty object, I'm guessing. What's the difference between count documents and count? Okay, that's doing deprecated, so it's count documents. Let's try that. What do you think is going to work? Total users equals, we call them profiles. So, Copilot has automatically completed it for us. So yeah, we want to find with nothing and then count the documents. Do you still need the find? Or does it count it automatically without? Let's try it and see. And then we can always optimize later. So guys, do a save. Let's see. Oh, how are we going to display it? So we need something on the front end to do it as well. So let's get the front end. Let's minimize Kubernetes for now. We can minimize config. Let's have a look. So we're working on the API, and let's go to the front end. Go to the home page. So this is the home page. Oh, it's not the home page. Let me go to the home page. Maybe we can just display some stats, maybe right at the top. So right up here above the H1, we can display something. We can put them in badges and style them up later. But for now, I don't know, we can just do them as P tags just to see. And then we'll need to query that API as well. Yeah. What if it will slow down the page? We could do it on the server side. What do you all think? Yes, thanks for being understanding about the name. Sorry about my terrible pronunciation. Advice I would give you, get involved in open source. Get some green squares. Go check out the GitHub org. There's like 4 or 5 steps to get started in open source, literally like today. And then you'll meet people, you grow your network, you'll learn together and geek out together. We could add JS doc types. Yeah, that sounds good as well. Anything to make improvements, I think, is really good. So we could do it here in the get static props, right? How did I do it in the other files? Let me be consistent. It's for the username we use. I'll get server-side props. I have to look at the docs and remind myself the difference. Oh, this passes it in. Let me check the docs. I forget. So if we go to Next.js, unless anyone wants to write in the chat and remind me what the difference is, I always forget. Data fetching. So you could get server-side props. We'll pre-render the page on each request and then return it and get, what did I call the other one? Index is get static props. Pre-render all the paths specified. Well, that actually might be, I don't know if that's the right one to use because it's going to generate those. It's only got one. I don't know if this is the right one to use. Might need some improvements there. Let me know what you all think. So yeah, I might need some improvements on that. I think that one should change. Let me see if let's see if we change that. Doesn't seem to quite make sense. Should we get server-side props, right? It's only one file. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. I wonder if for the user page, we could render them on the server to do them faster. Because on the user page, we render it on the server, so I wonder if we could generate them beforehand for every user to make them faster. Let me know what you think in the chat below. So while we're doing this is checking if it's in single user mode. So what we want to do is go get the stats data. So what we can do here is very similar to this. We can say data. I might just kind of copy that, because then that allows me to be consistent. So we get data. We're going to do a fetch. It's going to be to the URL will be API statistics rather than users statistics, and it'll just be totals. So actually we don't even need this at the end. Totals, just be a plain string. We do need backtick because we have got the base URL. We're going to get it as JSON. Error user not found was error stats not found. I need to improve that. We need to work on that. And then we're going to return the data. And then what we can do here in the data, it'll be passed in here, I think, if I remember correctly. And then here we can display, because totals will always give us the today. Right? It's always going to give us the total users in the database, and also the stats of clicks and users today. I wonder if we want all the totals. So we could then, on this collection, count them all up, potentially. But for now, we'll just get today's stats, maybe. Maybe we could just say today. Yes, so let's come here and go data. And what we're going to say, let's just pick one, for example. One could be users. So dot users, and let's just see how that works. Do we get to see a number on the page? Did that work? Do we get an error? Let me just clear that and start again. Stats not found. What have I busted? Stats not found. Where did I use stats? Users, it must be on the API call. Stats not found. Oh, this one maybe? Have I got the path right? Yeah, the path looks right on that one, because up 3, so out of statistics, out of API, out of pages, and then into models. Yeah, so that looks good. I exported it as stats. We're using it already, so it should be correct. We're doing the updates. Doing a get should be okay. Where is... So that is stats find 1 for today. That looks good. That looks okay. What do any of you see my error? Get static will be fetched at build time, so no update when refreshing as the pages are static HTML. Could we do... we could potentially make an API request to update the stats. So therefore, it happens in the client side to update it, because that would be more efficient. The page would load a lot faster, but then the stats would get updated as an API request. Would that still work? Could we combine the two to get the best of both worlds? Does that work? Something I'll have to experiment with. Okay. So go back to this error. Ooh, I'm not sure. Error. Oh, error stats not found. Okay, my bad. It's from the console log. None of you were paying attention. I was just testing you. So that's not a redirect to a 404 page. So stats not found. That's fine. So nothing for today was found. But actually, something for today should be found, because we have to obviously... we probably don't want an error. If no stats is found, we want to recreate the object. So we want to say data equals, we want to set everything to 0. So we want to say users. Oh, but we will always have something found for today. We will always have something, returned, not found, because these might be 0, but we would always get total profiles. So actually, just made me think of something. If nothing is found for today, then just make them 0. Yeah, so if there's no stats, today, then just we'll make this as a let, and then we can do stats today just equals views 0. Oh, that's wrong. Views zeros and click zeros. So yeah, that should work. So it will try and find some stats. If there's no stats, just make them 0. So these will return 0. And then, but that will always have a value. Okay, so that's okay. So in here, we don't need to do this. I was going to set the zeros here, but the API will always have a result. So I want to save that. So it's obviously throwing an exception if it got into this catch. So let me just try that again. I want to clear this. Let's just see that again and have a look. Okay, we've still got an error. What are you all thinking in the chat? Error stats not found. App is not defined. App is not defined? Where are we using app? Ah, I know, here. So we need, this is a config, so we will need to get that. Where do we use that? Let's have a look. App, here we go, from app.json. Okay, should always read the error message. Definitely, always read the error message. Okay, so app now exists. But still, we got to think of some other kind of edge cases, which I think is important. Still didn't quite work, so I'm expecting to see a number. Let me just clear the console and do that again. Let's see, profile find 200. Let's see, it says API failed. Profile is not defined. Did we not do an import? We did not. I was surprised that's not underlined. I'd expect that to be underlined. But okay, we can copy and paste it. I actually think if we, oh, not profiler. No, it didn't autocomplete for us. I thought it would. No, okay. VS Code let me down today. Profile from models, which is profile. Okay, hopefully it's a bit better. Let me clear the console and let's have a look. What are you all thinking? Still no number on the screen, so that is not looking good because we did display users and there should be, I think, 3 in there. So let's have a look what the error is. We're getting warmer. Converting circular structure to JSON, really? On the API, why does it not like that? Let's see what we've got here. I suppose what we can do is, rather than create the object there, we could say data, and then we could create an object up here and go const data equals. And then maybe we can console log data and see what is going on. Debugging is real, people. Debugging is real. Okay, so we've got views undefined, clicks undefined. That's fine. And then we've got users, which is also fine. Why wouldn't that work? I'm expecting that returns a number, but maybe it's returning an object. What does count documents return? Anyone use count documents before? Let's have a look. Count documents, what does it return? Returns a query. Or did I miss an await? I think I missed an await, didn't I? I missed some awaits. Await, that's important. Await. Async. Did I put them in the other one? Let me check. Oh, I did. Stats. That was to increment. Yeah, I did. Platform stats. Await. Because I copied and pasted it. I did it right. Okay, I don't know if this will fix it, but let's have a look. I think we're getting warmer every time. Oh, a number appeared. 4. So I refresh that. It says we've got 4 users. And if we look at the database, we should have 4 profiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's not going to count the JSON files. It's going to count what we have in the database. I think that's probably the better option. So that works. Okay, awesome. That's good. Let's pull out some other stuff. Let's see. Can I increase the font size to read on the phone? That's pretty big. I can go a bit one more, but it's going to be hard for me to work, but I'll try. Can you not go to a computer or tablet maybe? I don't know if people watch live streams of coding on their phone, so it's really dedicated. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that's a bit bigger now. I just like to see more real estate. I find it really hard to navigate around, but we'll find a compromise. So yes, let's go back to the front end. Let's close some of these things that we're not using. Close that. What are we not using? This is on the API, so we can get rid of that. Okay, so this is on the front end, the home page. So we have got. We're going to just tell when CSS in a minute. I will need your help. So we've got the users. So let me just put users, and let me do this. Go views, and then this will be views. Again, we'll style this up in a minute. It will be clicks and clicks. Let's see if this works. So we go back to here. We can see clicks is for views. This is for today only. So if I go to my profile, so remember it's 414. So I'm expecting users to stay the same. I'm expecting views to increase by 1. I'm expecting clicks to increase by quite a few. So I'm going to go to my profile, that increases the views. I'm going to click on these quite a few times. So it's 414, so I'm expecting a lot more. So let's go back to the home page. It's 4, 2, and a lot more. Perfect. So we know it is working for each day. And let's just take the data for today, and let's set it back a few more days. So what have we got? We've got 11, we've got 10. Let's set this to 9. Not 19, 9, and save this. Here we go, upload. And then we've got an empty database. Let's just check it doesn't break, refresh. Got 4 users, that's correct. 0 views and 0 clicks. We've got this console log, I've got to find out where that's coming from. And if I go view profile, click on a few times on a few links, go back to the home page. Oh, we've got 414 again, funny enough. Let me just change that. Let me go to a different profile. Let's increase some of the profiles. Let's add this person. Click on that. Refresh their profile a few times. Theirs is not displaying because their profile isn't set to display. Like mine is in the JSON. Mine's set to public, but it should still be recording. And you can see we had 6 profile reviews and 4 clicks. Let me do a few more clicks. I thought it would have had more. Let's pick another profile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we've got an error. Just noticed. Aha. So that explains why the clicks are not being counted. So profile view is, I think. Okay, so let's check that out and see why we don't have that right. How are we doing on time? We've been going an hour and a half already. Let me see if I can quickly fix this before I go. Everyone, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So the issue is, do we have anything in the console? There's no error in the console, but the problem is when we click and make the request, it says API statistics undefined. So it's the usernames not getting passed through, which is strange. But why does it work on mine? So if I go to my one, or did I break something? If I click on mine is working. So 26, click on it like 4 times, refresh. This is 30. So that is working. But if I go to someone else's profile, and their profile count, I can actually check. Then we get a new person and check their profile, completely new. So let me scroll down. We haven't clicked on, Anshu yet. So we should have a new one in the database. Let me check, refresh. Not stats, let's go to profiles. How am I going to find theirs? Here we go, there's they had 1 view. So refresh, they should get 2 views, but they have no link clicks. So let me click on their one. Why does it break? If I refresh, that's not going to change. Okay. So the API, the information being sent is missing the usernames. Let's debug together. Okay, so let's go back to here, and let's go back to it's on the put, but it's being sent from this page. So let's see, we do it actually from that page, but we do it on the actual component, I think. Not navigation, not layout, user links. So let me see. Yes, so when that link gets clicked on, we send this, but username is failing. And I know I broke it earlier with a typo, but I thought I would have fixed it. And it's working from my profile. So interestingly enough, what is the error? So the put error, and there's nothing in the console log. So why is that empty? So let's have a look for someone else's profile. So it's coming in entry and it's empty. So it's coming in empty and it's coming from this page, I think uses user link. Yes, the user link. So user link is coming in empty. So why is data coming in empty? That's quite interesting. Are we breaking something? Are we overwriting something badly? So let's do a console log here. And let's see if, let's console log the data. And let's see if something's wrong. So if I do a refresh, oh, not console data, console. Definitely time to end the stream soon. Okay, do a refresh, that works. So this comes in. Oh, it doesn't have the username on it. Well, that would explain why it isn't working. But why wouldn't theirs have the username on it? They're in the database. So when we make the request to get the user, we aren't getting it. Let's go back to the user. We are putting the username in there. So let's check, do another console log and find out. Oh, I know why. Because we said if the display is set to public false, as in they don't want stats public, we return. And this is where we put on the username. So we will need to do something like do the data. So we want all the data that we've got, but we also want the username. So we want to do something like that. That's going to work now. Watch, if I clear the console, refresh, they've got the data to not display the clicks and so forth, but it will still work. You'll see a username at the top, perfect. So now if I click, there is no error in the console. And if we go to the database, and I go back to the Mongo data, and this is their profile, we have views too, that should increase, but we also should have some links clicked now as well. There we go. So we've got some links clicked. And we should have a lot more links being clicked. So that looks good. And if we go to the home page, we have 13 clicks. So let's go back to their profile. Whose was it? I can't remember now. Whose was it? It was this one. Let's go to a new person and just check it will work. So back to the home page. What are our numbers? We've got 6, 20. So 6 will stay the same. Views will go up a little bit, but I want clicks to go up a lot. So let's see if we can get views to 21, but clicks to 20. So if I go to someone's new profile all the way down, let's just pick a random person. That would have made the views go up, and let's make the clicks go up a lot. So I'm clicking on this, clicked about 10 or 12 times. So go back to the home page, yes. So you can see that has gone up by, this has gone up by 1, and that's gone up by, I don't know, 14 or something. So that is working, that is awesome. I'm gonna commit this so you can all review it in the pull request, but let me just remove some console logs that I put in. So you wanna ditch that console log first. There's no other changes to that file, so that is just the console log. So let's have a look. So you can say, where is it? Open file, and it's just console log here. So let's ditch that. Save. It's gone off from the list now. In here, we want to keep these changes, so that looks good. It doesn't look very good actually. We might want to add some improvements before I commit it. So I might add some improvements to the styling before I commit it. But it's always worth checking that there's nothing extra it doesn't need going, so that looks good as well. So it's just the styling a bit on the front end I need to do to make it committable. It kind of looks a bit fugly at the moment, but it'd be nice to have some, I don't know, 3 squares at the top of some stats or something like that. I'll see what I can find pre-built on Tailwind CSS components. Awesome. Hey Marino, how you doing? Awesome to have you here. Thank you for the live stream last Friday, I think it was, or was it Monday? Monday probably. Everyone go check out Marino, does lots of Kubernetes and DevOps stuff as well. Thanks for popping in, Marino. Everyone, have a great weekend. We've got a Twitter space on Sunday. I will tweet it tomorrow. It's about open source, of course. What else would it be? So that's on Sunday at 4 p.m. We have our Eddie Hub community course. If you're part of the Eddie Hub community, I look forward to chatting with you on Sunday at 2 p.m. BST before the Twitter space. There's a link to our Discord in the description below. So I look forward to chatting to you there. Everyone have a great weekend. Not bad, an hour and 40 minutes. I felt we got a lot done. So I hope you had fun. I know I had a lot of fun too. I appreciate your support on this live stream. So perfect, everyone. Any ideas, don't forget to share it in the repo. Let me share the pull request so you can see where the changes are going. And if you have any ideas and you want to contribute, that would be great, much appreciated. Green squares for everybody. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.